I've been playing airsoft for nearly 15 years now, and throughout that time, there have been some products that have gone above and beyond my expectations, and after use and abuse over many years, they're still being incredibly helpful on the airsoft field. So in today's video, I wanted to highlight those products. What's up, airsofters? My name is Lane, and welcome back to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsoft field, and I hope that our educational videos help to make you a better player. If you enjoy this sort of thing, I would love it if you joined our community. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is something that has not been on the channel in a while, mainly because it just keeps working and I've never had any issues with it, and that is the basis of a lot of my kits, and that is the Spiritus Systems Mark III chest rig. Now, I know that Spiritus Systems has come out with other offerings. They have the Mark IV, which is an improvement on this design. It's very similar. And then they have their Mark V chest rig, which really changed it while still having the same kind of interchangeability of the platform at its core. It changed a lot by adding MOLLE, getting rid of this big Velcro pocket on the front. But I still, to this day, love the Mark III. Now, if somehow you've never seen one of these Spiritus placards, the way that this works is it comes with two clips up top. This will either clip into a harness if you wanted to, just have it on your chest. You can clip it into a plate carrier, or you can clip it into their expander wings to make this a bigger profile. If you wanted to have some pouches on the side of it, you can do that. And what I really love about this thing, what makes it truly unique to me, is this is what made me realize that I don't need to carry nearly as much as I was on the airsoft field. I'd have a full plate carrier, a backpack, to go out to a 20-minute open play, when realistically, something like this with 3 EPMs, this is 450 BBs, if I have EPM 1s, it's 750, that is everything that I need for most airsoft games that I go to. And these have interchangeable inserts for the magazines, so I also use this with my MP5K, I can use it with my AK, that's a little bit of a stretch. But overall, I think that this is just a great basis. And one of the things that I really like about the Mark III compared to the Mark V is this little pocket in the front. A lot of people don't like it because you can't hold a ton of things, but I have this little zipper flip top by Persec Gear. A couple other companies make them as well. And inside, you're probably not gonna see it on camera, I have a piece of plexiglass Velcroed to the front of it, and then I put my phone behind that for protection, but I still have very easy access to it at games where you need to use your phone often, like Desert Fox events. So overall, the Spiritus Systems Mark III, still a fantastic chest rig years later. I've had this for maybe 3-4 years. I think they bought this in the summer of 2018 or 2019. And the only real difference that I've noticed to it is there's a couple of loose threads around the edge of this Velcro field, but it's still kicking to this day. Spiritus accessories still work with this for the most part. And honestly, it's still my favorite micro rig. I think it's better than a Haley. I think it's better than a lot of the other options out there. Maybe one day I will switch over to the Mark V that they now offer. But moving on to the second thing, we're going to be talking more about airsoft stuff. And it's not actually the pistol in this holster, although I do love the CZ P09. My favorite thing is this Blackhawk Omnivore holster. Now, what makes this unique from other Kydex or plastic material holsters is most holsters attach to the frame of the actual handgun itself. What this does is it actually hooks onto the light of your pistol. So you have a couple of different options. So on mine, I have a Surefire X300 knockoff by Element, but you can also get it for the Streamlight TLR1, and if you don't want to run a flashlight on your handgun, they do have a block version of this as well. So by attaching to the actual light on this holster, rather than attaching to the frame of it itself, it means that you can use pretty much any pistol that has a railed frame. So that means that this holster will hold anything from a Desert Eagle all the way down to, a subcompact. As long as it has rail space and can fit either that block or one of the supported flashlights, it means that you can hold it. So I love this as an airsofter because airsoft guns aren't always one-to-one with their real-life counterparts. The best example I can think are WeTech Glocks. Now, the Elite Force Glocks are much better at being one-to-one, but the non-licensed Glocks just are a little bit wider than real ones, and they don't like to fit in real Glock holsters. But with this, this takes my standard Elite Force G19 if I have one, it'll take my customized Glock, it'll take, a Glock base that's off of other brands, it'll fit my Elite Force 1911 TAC that I have right here. As long as it has some sort of light or that block on there, it'll work. And that's what I love about this. For being, I think these are under 50 bucks. I've had this for years. It holds so many different handguns, and it saves me from buying a new holster every time I get a new pistol. So it saves me money. It's very secure. Now this is made by Blackhawk, so all of the mounting accessories work with existing mounting hardware for the Serpa series. So if you want this on a drop leg, if you want it to just be a couple inches lower, if you want it on your plate carrier, there are a ton of different options, and I think that this is fantastic. It is a push release right up here. The only thing I will say about this as a warning is if you have a knockoff flashlight, like this is again a Element Surefire X300, if the light doesn't sit on the gun perfectly or it wiggles, you could run into issues. The light is going to stay in the holster, the gun's going to come off the light. So my recommendation is if you're not going to buy a real Surefire or a real Streamlight TLR1, get a replica TLR1 because it screws on rather than like a friction lock like this Surefire. It's going to be much more secure. My Surefire here, I actually have some electrical tape going around the bulb housing to make it more secure and not rattle around on the gun. That's not anything wrong with the holster itself. The holster just like holds the flashlight forever and the gun will come out, which I've noticed over the years with this crappy knockoff of the flashlight. But getting into our third thing for today, I want to talk about the Viking Tactics wide padded 2-point sling. And I know you might be saying, Lane, you know, it's just a sling. Like how great can it be? But let me tell you, I've tried a lot of solutions over the years for great 2-point slings. This, hands down, is the best by far. This is better than any of the cheaper replicas or the knockoffs of the VTAC. What this does better than the other systems out there is, first and foremost, the padding is comfortable. I think that's where most replicas or most 2-point slings fail, is that they're not super comfortable. And some people might say, oh, you're just a baby, Lane, suck it up. Airsoft guns aren't that heavy. And yeah, for your standard open play, you know, if you just want to use something that's made out of webbing or made out of paracord, that's probably fine. When you go to a 40-hour game like Milsim West and you have your gun on you for a huge amount of time, it makes a world of difference in how comfortable this is. Or when it slides down and gets on your neck, this is much more comfortable and it's not sharp in anywhere. The other thing is this is a adjustable sling. So when you need more slack, you can do so. By pulling down on this little piece right here, it gives you more slack, works a little bit better when it's actually on a rifle, and then you use this rubber tab to cinch it back in and bring it closer to your body. The knockoffs do not have this. They always have like a little piece of like 550 cord or something like this on the actual pull tab. It's harder to find, you don't have the same grip on it. The VTAC sling is just fantastic, and my advice is if you're gonna buy it, spend the extra couple of dollars, get the wide padded version. These are just fantastic. The only thing that's failed on this so far, and I wouldn't even call it a failure, is you have to buy your own mounting hardware for these. And I have Blue Force Gear HK hooks because they can make this go from 2 points to 1 point very easily. The rear sling mount, the one I typically have it underneath my buffer tube on my M4, that's starting to bend after some time. So I'm a little afraid it's gonna fall off me one day. But again, just kind of like with the holster earlier, something to keep in mind, it's not a problem with the sling itself. It just really depends on what hardware that you're using. The fourth thing I want to talk about today is something that I feature on the channel a lot because it's truly game-changing, and that is the Odin Innovations M12 Sidewinder Speedloader. Now, how this works, if you've never seen one before, is there's this little crankshaft on the side, and as you crank this to load in your magazine, let me grab my Spiritus to show you exactly what I mean. Take your empty mid cap, put it in here, and just give it a twist. And the great thing is within seconds, your mid-cap magazines are loaded. This is a game changer compared to thumb loaders, and I think that anybody who plays airsoft needs one of these. Like, this is a must-have. It makes your life so much easier. They're pretty simple to carry on your kit because they fit in a double M4 mag pouch, and it saves you so much time. That time that I would be spending between games loading 90 BBs at a time into my magazines, I'm now spending that drinking water, eating a little bit of food, hanging out with my friends, anything I want, because this really tedious thing is just super easy to do now. The other thing is, if you have some really strong springs in your magazine, say you're using the PTS EPM1s that hold 250 rounds, you're not going to be able to get all those BBs in there with a standard thumb loader. This has the pressure and has the capacity to actually fill those 250, those 200 round mid-cap magazines. And I think those in and of themselves are a big game changer for the hobby. So having a speedloader that can fill them fast and effectively, everybody needs it. So the Odins are a little pricey when you look at them at first, but if you think about all the time that you save, these are a must-have. And I will say, buy the authentic Odins, don't buy a knockoff. The knockoffs just aren't the same, they don't work as well, so I wouldn't recommend them. And then finally, for today's video, another thing that we talk about all the time here on the channel, but I think that they're just great, and at the moment there's nothing that really competes with them, is the the OneTigris, that was embarrassing, face mask. On the sides of your face, you have this padding, which means that if you get shot in your cheeks going up near your ears, it's still going to be protected, but it also contours to the shape of your face and to the stock of your rifle, which means unlike traditional masks that are made entirely out of mesh, it actually conforms to your sight picture, and you can actually get low down on the rifle, get a nice high quality sight picture with your optic without needing a huge riser. And I think that these just solve a lot of the pains that you experience with other masks. Now, this particular version does have ear protectors as well, made out of mesh to protect your ears. One of the local fields that I go to requires ear protection, so I just think that this is one of the best options. It's got a very standard 4-point harness that goes around the back of your head, and while I think there could be some improvements on this design, it's one of the best ones that are currently in production. So those are the 5 products that I have bought in long ago that are still kicking to this day, and I think are worth every penny. All of these are absolutely fantastic, and if you want to learn more about any of these products, I'll have more information in the video description, in the show notes where you can find them as well. Most of these are available on Amazon, but I want to ask all of you, what are those products that you bought long ago that are still kicking, are still fantastic for you, and were worth every penny? But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more, you can always check out our channel or go to thebbwarrior.com. Also, make sure to check out our Discord server and join the community. But my name is Lane, and I will see you all next time.